Hello guys, Blagaga here, and I'm really excited because new Subterror cards have been leaked. We got 4 new cards, 2 Behemoths, 1 Nemesis monster and 1 trap card. So let's have a look at the Behemoths first. The Behemoths have all the same effects like the other ones already have, so that means if all your monsters are flipped face down, you can special summon them from the hand. Also you can flip them face down once per turn by their own effect. And the first Behemoth monster is called Skygo Kraken. It has only 1600 attack and 2400 defense. It's level 5, which is cool because you can easily summon this. And its flip effect is you can target Z cards on the field equal to the number of Subterror Behemoth monsters you control, destroy them. So you can not only destroy spell and trap cards but also monsters. But the better one is definitely the new level 12, which is called Subterror Behemoth Ultra Marfus. Sick name. So it has 3000 attack and 1800 defense, which was really important because the deck needed a monster with at least 3000 attack. And its flip effect is really sick. So you can change all other face up monsters on the field to face down defense position. This flips all your opponent's monsters face down too, and this effect doesn't target. And you can easily get rid of all your opponent's monsters this way. If you have Subterror Nemesis Warrior in the graveyard while you flip this up, your opponent cannot counter this effect. Like, yes, he can chain effects to this, but he cannot counter it, he cannot negate it. And this is so important because you just have one of the best removal effects in the game with this effect. It's level 12, so you probably only play like 1 or 2 copies of this card, but it's really strong. But now we come to the really important effects. We got a card and it's probably secret rare. It's called Subterror Nemesis Archer. It's level 3 fairy type earth monster. And it has 1600 attack and 1400 defense. And when I first read the effect, I was already done with it because I thought, Konami, what are you doing? But then it turned out to be kinda good. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks an opponent's face down defense position monster and you control another Subterror monster, you can shuffle that opponent's monster into the deck. So really strong removal effect, but it doesn't fix any problems that the deck has, but the second effect does. So if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Subterror monster. It doesn't matter which one, Nemesis or Behemoth monster, from your deck in face up or face down defense position. You can only use each effect of Subterror Nemesis Archer once per turn. So it's basically a better Prediction Princess coin Norma, and it also floats into any Behemoth monster without any restriction. This is so strong. It finally fixes a lot of problems for the deck. Because its effect triggers if it's destroyed, you could add theoretically some Metal Force into the deck, but it probably would be pretty inconsistent. But now we come to the card that is the most important one. It's a trap card and it's called Subterror Behemoth Burrowing. It says you can banish one Subterror monster from your graveyard, it doesn't matter Behemoth or Nemesis. For the rest of the turn, face down monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects and your opponent cannot target them with card effects. If this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, you can add one Subterror monster from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target one Subterror monster you control, change it to face down defense position. In my opinion, really decent card. There's one downside to it. If your opponent activates card effect and targets one of your monsters, you cannot chain this card and negate that effect. The effect already targets. Also, it only applies to face down monsters, not face down cards. This card could have been better. Also, it has some activation condition. You have to banish one monster from your graveyard instead, so you cannot use it on your first turn probably. But the other two effects are really good. So if it's destroyed, if your opponent just twin twists this card, you get value out of it. You can add one card from your deck to your hand, which is important. Also, activate its graveyard effect, then flip one monster face down, special summon another Behemoth from your hand on the same turn, activate this during the standby phase of your opponent, and then as soon as they're in the main phase, you just banish this thing from your graveyard and then make sure that your monster is flipped face down and they're safe. And maybe even special summon another Behemoth monster from your hand this way. You can also dodge targeting effects by flipping a monster face down with its graveyard effect. The thing is, you could potentially use the new card Foolish Burial with Belongings to send this card on your first turn to the graveyard, just normal summon and flip the monster face down with its graveyard effect. So this card also unbricks your plays, which is really important in the late game. If you lose field control, if you lose field presence, you just normal summon one of your Nemesis cards and flip him face down. And yeah, then you can just play again. So the trap is actually good, but it's sadly a little bit slow with the activation condition. I really hate that. So, do I like the new Subterror support cards? Yes and no, they could have been better. They all have such huge restrictions that I thought that Konami doesn't like the Subterror archetype. Why does Nemesis Armature has to be sent to the graveyard? Why? Also, why does the trap need an activation condition? Why do you have to banish a monster from the graveyard? The Subterror Behemoths are okay, but there's no synergy with their typings, also with the new monster. There's no synergy there with its type, Fairy, Pyro, Sea Serpent. You probably cannot do anything with these types. But let's wait and see. Maybe some really creative deck builders find some way to make use of these new cards. Yeah, definitely not bad, but I guess we have to wait one more set till the stack is kind of meta, until you can play it in the meta game, because at the current point I think it's like tier 2 and pretty close to tier 1, but it has too many weaknesses. Like, your opening turn is still not good, you still have to play cards like Desla Coder to kind of get to the point where you want to start. It also doesn't have a card like Sinister Shadow Games. It really needs such a really powerful card to fix one of their problems. So I'm kind of disappointed in the end, but it's also not bad support. Like, it could have been worse in my opinion. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Till next time, bye.